Hello, this is Christy Fulk with Create with Christy. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Mooresville, Indiana, and I'm here to share with you a Christmastime is Here suite. I love this. I've had it for maybe a little over a month, and I have made so many projects with it. I'm having so much fun with it. And here in a little bit, I'm going to share with you a non-Christmas card so you can see how you can use it all year long. But first off, I want to show you things with the suite and tell you about a online class gift that I'm giving to people that purchase from me. If you buy the Christmas Rose Bundle, you'll get exclusive links to some videos that I've made for the 5 cards that I have for the class. If you purchase the bundle and the designer paper and the gold glitter enamel dots and the gold shimmer ribbon, that comes to $90.50 plus shipping and tax. You will not only get the links to the videos, but you will also get all the pre-cut, pre-embossed, pre-die cut, pre-scored cardstock and gold foil that you need to make the projects. So I'll be showing you all the particulars here at the end of the video. So make sure you stay tuned if you're interested in that. And first, right now I'm going to go ahead and show you all the products that you can get with the suite up and close, because it's a little hard. The pictures look good, but it looks so much better if you get a close-up look. Here are the beautiful dies. This big one die cuts the floral image. Then we've got a couple tags and a couple really pretty ornate looking dies. And I use every single die with the cards I made for the class, just so you know. And here's the beautiful stamp set that goes along with it. So bundling these together saves you 10%. So it's a really good deal to get them together. And I love how this one is actually a red rubber stamp. It's the cling stamp. And these are all photopolymer, so then you can see through them to be able to line up the images and color these in with these stamps. And I'll be showing you how to do that here in a little bit. So this is the bundle. And then the other products in it. First off, let me show you the bracelet. This is a really pretty bracelet. Now, you do not have to get this for my online class, but I really love this bracelet. I love the rose on it, the little Stampin' Up emblem, and it is made so you could put on some other charms, so you don't have to just limit yourself to those, but I just think it's really pretty. It's a neat bracelet. So that's part of the suite. So if you want everything, including this, I suggest using the easy button. This is the suite bundle, and you get everything pictured here, and it does include the 10% off for the bundle. And just use that one code, and that'll get you the whole suite, including the bracelet. Okay, let's show you the other things here. These are the gold glitter enamel dots. They are so pretty. I really like them a lot. And I'm going to show you a neat thing here in a little bit, how you can actually color these with our Stampin' Blends to make them a little different color. But I still love, so far I've just used it with just the gold, but with this card I decided to try something different. It looks pretty neat. So those are the gold enamel dots, and I love how they're different sizes with them. Let me open that up there, you can see them better. And you can see I've used a bunch already, so that you get a lot with the one set. Then the beautiful gold shimmer ribbon. It's not a brash gold, it's just a really elegant looking gold, and I love the shimmer to it. I don't know if you can see it in the video. Probably doesn't do it justice. It's beautiful, and you get 10 yards of that in a roll. And then the beautiful designer paper. It's specialty paper because each design has one side that has gold foil. Let me see if I can show you that here. So all these little white roses in it have the gold foil with this sheet. There are 3 different designs. They're 12 by 12, and you get 4 of each design. And I love that because now if you make, in Christmas time, you usually want to make more than one thing. So this way you've got a lot of paper with that design. So there's the gold foil side, and then the other side is just regular without the gold foil. But I love this design too. Then we've got this design. There's the side with the gold. This is Cherry Cobbler, by the way, with the gold. And all the colors with it are Cherry Cobbler, the gold. This is Mossy Meadow. The lighter red is Poppy Parade. And like I said, the Cherry Cobbler. I think those are all the colors. Oh, and then there is also Early Espresso, and you'll see that in another sheet. So you've got this side with the gold foil, and then this whimsical side, and this is the Poppy Parade and Mossy Meadow. Then the last one is this one. I love this one. This one's probably my favorite one. You can see the gold shimmer and the roses. And the thing that is so neat about this one is these images here fit perfectly with that die. So if you don't want to stamp and just have everything colored in, if you don't want to stamp the stamps, then you can just do that. And you have the gold foil. Isn't that pretty? And I'll be showing you how to do that in the class too. And then these images can be used, and I'll show you a way to do that in the class also. And then here's the other side for this one, and that's where the early espresso comes in with the acorns. So very pretty. Love this paper. Love everything about this suite. It's just gorgeous. Okay, now it's time for my birthday card. And like I said, I'm going to use non-Christmas colors. This one's actually more spring colors, so I want to show you how you can use it throughout the year. This is a piece of balmy blue cardstock. It's 5.5 by 8.5. I'm going to fold that in half. Make sure those corners meet up. Grab my bone folder. We'll set that aside for now. Then I've got a piece of Whisper White. This is 4 by 5.25. And another piece of balmy blue, which is 4.25 by 5.5. And I'm using the stitched rectangle dies with this card. I love all these dies. If you've watched any of my videos in the past, you can see me use these a lot. And if this is your first time to see one of my videos, make sure to subscribe. If you enjoy the video, I'd love for you to subscribe, and make sure you click that little bell that's next to it. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload another video, so that way you won't miss any of them. So I use the 3 largest dies from that set. Go ahead, and what I will be doing is the largest one and the 3rd largest one, so it's actually the smallest one of the set. It's going to go in the middle, so it's kind of centered to make a frame. And I'll run it through the die cutting machine. And then the 2nd largest one is the one that goes on the Whisper White. So these would get die cut. And I've already done that ahead of time. And here's the white piece that's cut out. And I love the stitching on that. And then here's the frame, and if you look really close, you can see that I embossed it. And I used the subtle folder, and I love the subtle folder because it makes you be able to make your own textured cardstock. So actually, that's the back side. Let's turn that over. The way to know which is the right side, you'll see the stitching. This side, you can tell the stitching didn't go all the way through. So this is the front side where you can see all the stitching. But I love that textured look with the frame. Okay, let's go ahead and get some stamping done. We'll go ahead and put the frame over to the side for later. And now I'm going to grab my Stampin' Pierce mat and a scrap piece of paper. And I'm going to take the large image. This is the cling stamp that comes in the set, the red rubber. I'm going to take my Tuxedo Black Memento and make sure I get that inked up really well. I always do especially my big stamps. I'm getting to where I do the small ones this way too. Not all the time though, but make sure that's good and inked up, and I see it's all black now. So I'm going to stamp this. I'm going to get most of it. I'm not going to get all of it. That's why I've got my scrap paper underneath it. I'm going to push it down, make sure I put pressure over the whole thing without moving it. Now, a lot of times I will use my Stamparatus with this set, and you'll see that if you do my online class I talked about, that I'm going to use the Stamparatus with those videos. But this one I wanted to show you how you can do it without it if you don't have one in hand, so you can still buy the stamp set. So I love that image. Isn't that pretty? Okay, now we're going to take Flirty Flamingo and the rose stamp. Now I have found, this is just me, you can figure out how you do best. I like having that little rose on the side, on the left side. So I'm going to ink this up with the Flirty Flamingo. And the way you line this up, just go slowly down. And you make sure you look through everything. Just don't go too fast. It's pretty easy to line up as long as you don't go too fast, and then slowly go down. There we go. There's the Flirty Flamingo. See how easy that was? That's even me at an angle. In a video, if I can do it during a video, you can do it without. But I have to admit, the Stamparatus does make it go faster. Isn't that pretty? I love how it's got some detail into it. Some of it's darker, some of it's lighter, some of it's still leaving the white. Very pretty. Love the details of that. Okay, now we're going to start stamping the berries. I'm using Mango Melody. And here's one of the berry stamps. Now this one, since it's small, I'm not going to do it upside down. But this is a large berry one, so this is a big bunch here. So this is the one it lines up with. And you just start lining it up and slowly go down. Don't go down too fast because you might move. And there we go. See how easy that was to line up? Just as long as you don't go too fast, you'll be fine. Okay, this is another bunch. Oops, I got a little bit too much on that block. I don't want to take a chance of getting that on my card. So let's clean that off a little bit. Ink it up a little bit more. That looks pretty good. Oops, looks like I did it again. There we go. You always want to make sure you don't have ink on that block. I think it lines up. Yep, these line up with this bunch. Just slowly go down. There we go. Get this up a little bit. I'm afraid I'm going to start getting out of the video. Then we've got this bunch. There are 4 bunches all together. And this one lines up with this one. Oop, I've got it upside down. Let's turn it around. Much better. Line them up and slowly go down. There we go. And let's see. Lost track of which ones I need to do. I think it's this. No, that's the one I just got done with. This is the one I want to do. Lost track which stamps I used. And this one lines up with this bunch. There we go. So I got those pretty mango looking berries. Now we're going to do the green. This is Granny Apple Green, is what I'm using. And I love how each stamp, we've got the pine needles, but there's always at least one leaf in it, and that's what I lined up. So this has just got the one little leaf, so I think it's this center one right here. Oops, help if I didn't have it upside down. Actually, that's not it, it's this one. This bunch right here. So I'm lining up that leaf, and if that leaf is lined up, then those pine needles will be lined up just fine. Slowly go down. There we go. Then we've got this one with the Granny Apple Green. This is another small one, so this is the other small bunch here. And there's that leaf right there in the middle. So that's the one I'm going to line up. Go down slowly. That one's done. Even though I'm going a little, making sure I have it lined up, it's still a lot faster than coloring. And now I'm going to get, now this has 3 leaves to line up. So look at those 3 leaves lined up. Looking pretty good. There we go. All the leaves are done. Now you're saying, what are you going to do with those pine cones? That's not going to look too springy with those pine cones. I'm just going to do them in a different color. I'm going to use the Balmy Blue. And if you don't look, once you do them in a different color, to be honest, I think they look like a little bunch of like a little flower there instead of a pine cone. Just looks like a little bunch of little blue flowers. There we go. And that one I didn't ink up quite as well, so we'll do it again. There we go. Got those pretty, looks like pretty blue flowers around it. So we've got that one all done. And I'm going to go ahead and bring in another piece of Whisper White. This is another 4" by 5 1/4. I think that's the size. It looks a little big. Nope, that's right. So that's the 4" by 5 1/4. And this time, instead of stamping this in black, I'm going to do it in a color, so that way we don't have to do all the different stamping. Clean this off and get the black off. And I'm going to do it in Flirty Flamingo. Get it stamped up. And I'm just going to stamp part of it here in the corner. I want to try to get both of those roses in the corner though. They might be cut off a little bit, but that's okay. Make sure I have the good pressure on it. And there we go. So I think it looks pretty just doing it in a color too. And now I'm going to take my Mango Melody and the greeting. Oh, I forgot to show you the greeting set I'm using. This, since the Christmas rose stamp has all Christmas greetings, I got my special celebrations from the annual catalog out. So this is what I'm going to use, the happy birthday, and this greeting here says, hope your day brings just what it should, happiness, health, and everything good. So I'm going to ink that stamp up with the Mango Melody. And I'm going to stamp it right up near the top center. There we go. Not real straight, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and put that on the inside of the card now, so I don't have to go looking for that later. Let me grab my multi-purpose glue. Get that all over here. Got that a little too thick. Let's kind of spread that out a little bit. Don't want it oozing out the sides. Make sure I don't put it on upside down. I have been known to do that. I don't know if that's ever happened to any of you out there. I love it when I get something on there and realize I put it on upside down. There we go. So there's the inside of the card all done. Now I'm going to bring in a piece of vellum cardstock. I'm going to take this off because you'll be able to see it better. This is a 4.5 by 1" piece. And I'm going to emboss with white on this one. So I'm going to take my embossing buddy and sweep it across here. This takes any static or moisture out of the vellum. Then I'm going to take my Versamark pad and the happy birthday stamp from the special celebrations. And I'm going to stamp it towards the left, but over just a little bit. I don't want it right along the edge. Hold that down for a few seconds. I don't think you can see that, but there's a happy birthday watermark right there. Now I'm going to bring in my white emboss powder. I like keeping it in these little containers that you can get at Walmart. Keeps it really nice. Knock that off. And the nice thing about this, I did get some of the edges of the stamp inked, and I didn't want that. I'm just going to take my thumb and sweep that off of there. And just kind of flick it if you see a little bit that you don't want. There, that flicking took off any excess that I didn't want. But you definitely want to use that embossing buddy. If I hadn't done that, that would have had so much static on it, and there would have been embossed powder in places I didn't want it. So that's ready to go. Now I'm going to bring in my heat tool, put it on full power, and let it heat up for a little bit, because with the vellum you don't want it to melt, because it could melt if you get too close to it. But I am going to stay in one spot now that it's heated up. Be looking at that Y. See how it's starting to get nice and shiny? Once that starts, then I slowly start moving it. I'm trying to keep it off of my workspace because this has got a foam thing underneath it, and I don't want that to melt. And I've done that before. Now, one thing you're going to notice, this is getting kind of lopsided. I'm going to go on the other side, and that'll straighten it back out again. So let me look at that. Yeah, that looks also, there's a little part of that H I want to meld a little bit more. Oops, still not. There we go, now it's all done. Turn that off. When everything's nice and shiny, you know you've got it done. I'm going to hurry up and cover up my Versamark pad because it likes to dry up quick. Okay, oh, here's the lid. Couldn't find it there for a second. Okay, so now we'll grab the banner triple punch, and because this is 1 inch, it'll fit perfectly in that center guide. So you want to make sure the happy birthday's on the left. Put it in as far as it can go and punch, and that gives you a perfect banner. Now I'm going to bring this frame in, and what I'm going to be doing is putting some glue here. It's going to be put underneath here, and the top of this is going to be coming out the top of the frame. So it's going to look like this when we're done. So I'm going to take my multi-purpose glue again. Just put a little bit here on the edge. Just a little strip is all you need. If it's a little thick, just kind of spread it out a little bit. Now I'm going to turn this over. I know this is my top because you can see the stitching really well. So now I'm going to make sure I put it on the right side here. Yes, I want it to be on this side. So I'm going to put it here near the bottom, and you want to make sure it's straight. That's a nice thing about using the glue. You've got a little give until you push it down. Once you push it down, it's stuck. But that made it so I could straighten it up. And then you can turn it over. So when you turn it upside down, put it on the right side. Then when you turn it over, it'll be on the left like it's supposed to. Then you take this little banner and just make sure it's on the front. Now, sometimes this likes to move around a little too much. So what I decided to do is grab a glue dot and put one here near the end. And you're going to say, oh, but you're going to be able to see that glue dot. We're going to take care of that here in a minute. I want to make sure that this is good and flat and straight. And then put that down, and that'll hold it into place. Now, I'm going to show you what I was talking about. No, I take that back. Let's put this together first. Then I'll show you how I'm going to cover up that glue dot. We are going to bring in the card base, get this punch out of the way. I'm going to attach this. Oops, forgot a step. I didn't want this to just be plain white. So, because I like that, but I wanted to look like there's kind of like a blue sky. So I'm going to take my balmy blue and a sponge and get some ink on it and just kind of brush it along the white. If you go on the image a little bit, that's okay. Try not to too much, but if you do it a little bit, it's not going to show up. So you just keep sponging it until you've got your desired effect. Actually, I think I'm going to bring in my scrap paper here. Be able to put a little more pressure. You still don't want to put too much pressure, but now I'm getting a little more blue on it this way. But there, that gives it a neat effect around the image. I just thought that really set it off. Makes it a little more special. There we go. Glad I didn't forget that part. I like that, having that blue sponge look on there. Okay, now I'll bring in the glue again. Let's cover this up real quick. bring in my card base, make sure it's not upside down, and put this right in the center. Now you're saying, why didn't you didn't have to die cut that because it's going to be covered up with your frame. I did that because it just makes it easier to set the frame on there. If I were to cut this a different way, it may not be hidden completely with this. So I know this is smaller, so I know it's going to fit just right. And it's not that hard just to hurry up and die cut it real quick. Now I'm going to bring in my mini Stampin' Dimensionals, but what I'm going to do, I'm showing you how I use every bit of this. Now these edges are a little different than our regular dimensionals. So what I'm going to do, figure out where I put my scissors, there they are. These can be cut into strips. Now this one looks like somebody made it at a different angle, so I'm going to move this one out of the way, put that over there to use later. But I'm going to cut from the valley to the bottom. Let's see, I think I need, can't remember how many I need, I think 8. We'll go ahead and just cut all of these so they'll be ready the next time I want to use them. They're pretty easy, and I always cut these along with the papers. You can see that's how I did here. I just think it makes it so much easier cutting. Oh, we want to make sure this is turned over. I almost put it on the wrong side. So I'll turn this back over. I'm going to put one in each corner. I like how it makes just little strips for you, and they're not too wide for the frame. And I'm going to put one in the middle of each of the sides too. So I'm going to put one across here too. Yep, I was right, 8. Okay, that's ready to go. Now I'm going to grab my paper piercer. If you punch a little hole, I saw this on another demonstrator's site, punch a little hole, then kind of angle it and pop it up. That paper comes right off. So I'm going to go ahead and take all the backing off of all of these. There we go. So all of the backing's off. You can always tell when you get it in the light and they're all shiny, then you know you've got all the backings off. And now I'm just going to put this right over the image, make sure it's centered. And you've got a perfect framed image for your card. Isn't that pretty? Now we could stop there, but I wanted to use some of these gold, glitter gold. I want to show you how you can change the color a little bit. So these are those gold glitter enamel dots that are in the Christmastime is Here suite. I've got the dark granny apple green. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the brush tip and I'm going to make these a little green. See how it's changing the color a little bit? Hopefully you can see that in the video, but it's giving a nice pretty green tint to them. So let's see, I think I'm going to use 5 of these. So there's a big one. Let's do a medium-sized one. I like having different sizes. Here's a small one. I like using a small one, so we'll definitely do 2 small. And let's do 2 medium. That'll give us our 5. Okay. Get this close up. You always want to make sure you get that lid back on because it's alcohol ink and it could dry up really easy. So let those air dry just a little bit. It doesn't take long since it's those alcohol markers. It's alcohol ink, so it comes off pretty quick. So now I'm going to grab one of these and I'm going to put this one up here. Isn't that green? I love how you can make these a different color. Now this probably would have still looked good with the gold. I think the gold would have gone, it kind of would have matched the Mango Melody berries, but I wanted to go this way. Now see that little glue dot we had? That medium-sized one, I'll cover up that glue dot and you'll never know that it's under there. Okay, we'll do another one right up here. Oops, I don't want it on the image. Just kind of scoot it over there and then push it down. And now we'll get our 2 small ones. And let's put one here. Okay, and I think I'll put one more on that banner. There we go. Actually, I think I want another one on there. Let's do another small one. That looks a little bare up there on top. So get my other green one. Blow it a little bit so it can dry. I love how fast they dry. You don't have to wait too long. These smaller ones are a little harder to get a hold of. Let's see here. There we go. Let's see where to blow. That's actually, I think I'm gonna put it down here. There we go. I love that green sparkle on there. So there is a non-traditional Christmas card. I'm sorry, not non-traditional Christmas card. So there is a birthday card, non-Christmas card that you can make with a Christmas rose. So you can use this set throughout the year. So I hope you like that and keep watching to find out about my online class. Okay, like I said earlier, I have 2 different options for my gift. If you look at the picture, if you do option 1, you just purchase the Christmas Rose Bundle, number 153944, and it's $61 plus shipping and tax, and you'll get the exclusive access to the 5 video tutorials on YouTube. Option 2, you purchase the bundle plus the Christmastime is Here Designer Series paper, the gold glimmer ribbon, and the gold glitter enamel dots for $90.50 plus shipping and tax. You'll get the video links above, plus you'll get the die cut, embossed, and scored cardstock needed to make the projects. Now in the next picture, it's going to show you some of the supplies you are going to need that I cannot bundle up into a card kit per Stampin' Up! Rules. You will need the Cherry Cobbler, Early Espresso, Mossy Meadow, Poppy Parade, Tuxedo Black Memento, and Versamark ink pads. And this is optional, the heat tool, the embossing buddy, the gold Stampin' Emboss powder. There's only one card that uses the gold emboss powder, and if you don't have that, then you can just stamp it with the Early Espresso and it'll be just fine. And then you also need the adhesive of your choice, dimensionals, and mini glue dots. So if you've already got those on hand, then you're good to go. If not, you might want to add that to your order. Now, if you only buy the bundle, now the supplies I just told you, that you need those for both the bundles. Options, I mean. If you purchase just the bundle, the stamp set and the dies, you will need Cherry Cobbler, Early Espresso, Mossy Meadow, Poppy Parade, and Whisper White cardstock. You'll also need the gold foil sheets, and then the Christmastime is Here DSP, or you could also use any other DSP that you have on hand. Gold shimmer ribbon and the gold glitter enamel dots. The embossing folders I used are the Stylish Scroll and the Winter Knit embossing folders. Those are both in the holiday catalog. The stitched rectangle dies and the layering oval dies, and those you can find in the annual catalog. And the detailed trio punch, and then a simply scored scoring tool or the paper trimmer using the score blade. So if you only get the bundle, you'll need a few more things on hand. But since I supply the cardstock with option 2, you don't have to get all the other things and the dies, the extra dies and the embossing folders, because I'll take care of that for you. So if you use my host code that I've got in the bottom corner, now this is during November. If you're watching this in December and the Christmastime suite is still available, then you're going to want to go to my blog, www.createwithchristy.com, to find the December host code. If you use that, you'll automatically get 1 doily, and I have a doily rewards program. When you collect 10 doilies, then you let me know, give me the order numbers, and then you get to pick out $50 worth of free stuff from any current catalog, and I'll even pay the shipping and tax. So you can find out more about that in the link below in the description. Just look up Doily Rewards and that'll tell you that. So you don't have to use a host code to get my class, but if you want to get a doily towards a $50 shopping spree, make sure you use that host code. Okay, now that we've got that taken care of, I want to show you the cards up close in the class. I know you saw a picture of it, but I wanted to show you the actual card. This is a gatefold card, and it's got a pretty belly band that'll come off, and there's the inside. So this is one of the cards you'll learn how to make, and it slides on real easy. The way I'll show you how to do that so it's not too tight. Here's a pocket card that I made that you could put a gift card in. So, and this is the one that I did the gold embossing, but like I said, you could use a darker stamp. You could even use the gold Delicata ink pad if you wanted to on that, but I embossed it this time. And here I used the gold enamel dots. And then I've got this card, and this was the image in that paper that didn't line up with the die. This one I used the layering ovals dies and just cut that out with the ovals to make this card. And then we've got this card, and see, like I said, I'm using all of the different delicate dies. These are those corner ones, and this is what I used to round these. This is that detailed trio punch is what did the rounded corners. And I used this detailed one. There's the pretty gold ribbon and some foil with the enamel dots. Then we've got this card. This is the one I said I die cut out of that paper. This made a really quick and easy card using the gold enamel dots there too. And then here's the last one, and I used that border die that's in the rose set. And there's the label. So these are the 2 labels that are in it, this one and this one. Okay, I think that's it for today. I just laid out the cards so you can see them one last time for my online class. And I hope to hear from you soon. And if you like my videos, please make sure you subscribe below and click the little bell that's next to the subscription. That'll make it so you get notified every time I do a video so you don't miss any of my videos. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye.